Okay, so here's the situation. The situation is you have a instructor-led training event that you have to put into the Oracle Learning Cloud and offer it through the catalog. So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to log in as our pal Curtis here, and Curtis has the learning specialist role. So this should give him everything he needs from a permissions and privileges standpoint. And once we're in, we're going to go over to the My Client Groups area and scroll down, and we're going to go to Learning. Now, the type of instructor-led event that this is going to be is a one-time event. So it will be put out there one time, or at least one time per year, and that's the way we're going to go ahead and configure this. And in order to do that, we have to go over down to the Learning Catalog area, and we are going to go ahead and click on Courses. The best way to do this is start with Courses and then enter into the layers after that. So it'll go Courses, it'll go Offering, and then it'll go Activity. So here's a list of all the courses that are in the system already, and what we're going to do is create a new one. So we're going to click on Create, and the title of this course is going to be Knowing What Game You Are In. And basically the description of this is join speaker Simon Sinek as he takes us through the types of games that are played in business. This concept is very fascinating. Simon Sinek goes out and speaks on this all the time. So if you're fortunate enough to be an organization that he would agree to come in and speak to, this would be a fantastic instructor-led event. Short description. Let's go ahead and give it the same as the title, because the title wasn't very long. And the publish start date and the publish end date. So when is this going to appear, and then when is this going to disappear? So we can say the publish start date is today, let's say, but let's say we want to end the course in the system from a either searchability standpoint or the ability to actually see the details. And because we know the event is going to happen in February, we are going to align the publish end date with that. It's always a best practice. There's nothing more aggravating, unless I take that back, unless this course is going to be a reoccurring course every year, and Simon Sinek is going to come back every year and do the same thing over and over and over again. But if this is like a one and done, then there's no point in putting out that course into the library, into the catalog, and making it available just in case somebody comes across in a search. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to end this on basically when we're going to end the ability to go ahead and sign up, which will be the event is the 4th, so let's just say we're going to end this on the 3rd. And then let's say this is a 4-hour event, and we're not going to go ahead and charge anything here. The branding image, you might get a headshot from Simon and put that out there as far as the image of the course. Once again, I highly recommend that you go out and find images legally, without violating any type of IP, but always attach some sort of image to your course. Same thing with the trailer. This event actually might qualify for a trailer. especially if you're trying to promote it really strongly. Simon Sinek might have a trailer for this type of thing anyway that he may allow you to use. So in that case, you would want to attach a trailer. Okay. So we're not going to establish any prerequisites or learning outcomes or anything like that for this demonstration. So we're going to go ahead and click on Save and Close. So now we have the course. Now we have the backbone of what we're going to put into the system, and now we have to identify how we're going to offer this. So that's what offerings is all about. So we are going to go ahead and click on Offerings, and we're going to create an offering for this course. And some of the other demonstration videos I've done, I've talked about self-paced offering. In this one, we are going to do an instructor-led offering, which the configuration is slightly different. So the title comes over. The description does not. We'll just leave that blank for right now. I can always go back and grab the description from the syllabus field from the course. Publish start date, we're going to say today. Publish end date, we're going to say this offering is going to end, once again, the same as the course. And then the offering start date and offering end date. So this is the event details. Okay, so the offering for this, like I mentioned before, is in February. And I'm going to say this is February 4th. The offering end date is also February 4th. So it automatically populated in there. If this was a multi-day type of event, then I would put, I would future date this to the 5th or the 6th. But this is a one-day event, 4 hours of, coming in, networking, listening to a seminar and all that. Primary classroom, if you have this already established in the resources area, you can go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and pick one here. Let's say the New York campus. And let's go with language. It's American English, facilitator type. We're going to go ahead. Technically, Simon would be a training supplier. Now, if you choose that, then you have to find a supplier. In this case, that would also be in the resources area, and I would find Simon's name in this list, or I would search for this list. However, since I mentioned Simon in the description, I may not even need to do that. So it's up to you. Having internal facilitators and external facilitators. Instructor is the internal facilitator and training supplier is the external facilitator. And you will find a repository that you can populate, once again, in the resources area of Learning Cloud. Okay, so that's it for this. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Activities. And if you've seen any of the other videos, you're going to guess what's going to happen. I'm not going to spoil it for you, for those of you that this is your first video. And yes, it does give us a warning box. And it says, hey, listen, if you don't want to lose anything that you just did on this page, click Save, which it will. And then it will take me over to the Activities tab. Now, the Activities tab, just so you know, gives us the ability to set something up so somebody can actually sign up for this. If I don't put anything in the Activities tab, then the sign-up process is a little incomplete. So I'm going to go ahead and create an activity. It does seem a little redundant, but you need this extra layer for proper enrollment. So once again, I'm going to put the title in here. It's knowing what game you are in. And if I wanted to put the same description as the screen before this, I could. I'll just leave it blank for right now for the sake of demonstration. And then also the activity date comes over from the offering. And this is where we can also start, put the start time, end time. So let's say we're going to start this at 9 o'clock a.m. And we'll end this at 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. And time zone is going to be New York because we chose that from a location standpoint. We are not going to repeat this. This is once again a one and done type of example. Expected effort, we're going to say 4 hours to stay consistent with the offering. And this is an interesting little box I always like to point out. Allow person completing this activity to mark themselves complete. And if you check this box, then whoever signs up can say, yeah, I attended that, and they can mark themselves complete. Most of the time, most organizations I have ever worked with, they don't click this box. They, they're going to verify whether or not you were there or not in order to give you a status of completion or some sort of credit that you were there. And then you can identify instructors if you'd like. You don't have to, but if you had Simon in your instructors list, you can go ahead and do that. Most likely that's not going to happen because in order for you to identify an instructor, they have to be in the HCM Cloud system as an employee. Unless Simon works for you, that's not going to happen. So we're just going to leave that blank. And we already have the classroom requirement here filled, and it brings it over from the offering detail that we chose. So there's really nothing that we need to do here. And then if you wanted to add other resources like an ad hoc resource, you can put that here as well. But in order to keep it very simple, that all we really needed to do was enter the time and the expected effort. Okay, now we're going to close it. All right, and last but not least, this is probably the type of instructor-led event, training event, that you're going to want to enable an evaluation. Tell us what you thought of this. That way, whether it's Simon or anybody else, you kind of get an idea what people got out of it. And once again, evaluations are in a different area of HCM Cloud. You're not going to be able to find the way to configure evaluations in Learning Cloud itself. You have to go to a different area in HCM Cloud in order to create the evaluation. Once the evaluation is created, very much so like once you've set up your instructors or once you have gone ahead and set up your locations, then you're able to choose from the evaluation repository. So if you want to take a look at the default evaluation that's been set up, then you can go ahead and click on Preview. And what that's going to do is that's going to open up a preview to see what kind of questions are being asked so you can verify. And here they are. How would you rate your learning experience? The objectives are met. This is a very general type survey or evaluation. If you wanted to be more specific to either this speaker or this type of event, you might have a different one. So after I'm done reviewing this, I can click OK. Right? If I want to choose a different one, I choose this radio button, and then I can say Add Evaluation. That's going to open up a screen that allows me to search for evaluations. And here are the other evaluations that are in the system. So we have looks like one in possibly German, new joiner learning evaluation, hazardous material evaluation, and then, so it doesn't look like any of these other evaluations would fit the bill. So I'll go back to the default evaluation and use that. And if you notice, required for completion, this is grayed out. It appears that at the evaluation level, the evaluation isn't required for a completion. But if let's see if we can override that. So let's choose another evaluation, add an evaluation, and then choose the same one. So that's what I'm doing. I'm choosing, it's the same evaluation. Oh, I didn't click the right one. So highlight and then apply. And then this allows me then to change this whether it's yes or no. By default, there's a course setting that says that evaluations are not required for completion. But if you want to override that, you just click on choose another evaluation, choose the same one that maybe have been default, just like this one, and then required for completion. So if you want to make sure that people are going to give you an opinion on this instructor-led event, then this is how you do that. Okay, and they do not get a completion status. They will not get a completion status until this evaluation is completed. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. And here we go. So this is the details for the offering right up here. And if I click the back button, then that takes me back one level. And now these are the details of the course right there. So you can verify it right there. And if I click back, it takes me back one level. So I can see the entire list of my courses. And then it's right here, knowing what game you're in. And the published start date, end date, and all that. And then in a couple of minutes, a service is going to run in the background, and it's going to include it in the searchability, in basically the library of the system. So if I were to go to search for this, I'd be able to search, find it, or a lot of times the way employees are made aware of events like this is they'll get an email once a week or once a month, and it'll be somewhat of an internal marketing email as far as here are all the great training events that we're holding, and click on the associated link in order to go ahead and find out more information and enroll. Now you might be thinking to yourself like, well, where would I get that link to make it super convenient? And before I let you go, let me show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on knowing what game you're in, and I'm clicking on the course level here. Okay. And then what I can do is I can click on this course number up here from this screen, and it's going to give me all the direct links to this course. This is what's known as a deep link. So if I wanted to go ahead and provide these a link to this course so people can sign up for this event, I can copy and paste this into an email, and then when I click on it in the email, it will authenticate me if I'm have a single sign-on or if I have to log in. After I log in or I'm authenticated into HCM Cloud, it's going to take me directly to the course page, which will give me the opportunity to enroll. So let me go ahead and back out again. And that's it. So let's recap really quick. So I started here on the course screen. I created a course. I then created an offering, which is in this example, is a one and done offering. It's an offering that's only going to be offered once this year. And in that offering, I set up an activity that allows me to enroll and sign up. And then I ended my demonstration with showing you where you can go to find the deep link so you can appropriately promote this through an email campaign or some other campaign.